Are you guys hoping that this leads into a Man of Steel 2 just like I am? Prepare yourself, guys. This is the binge review of The Witcher. Now, if you haven't become a subscriber already, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and share it with as many people as you can. Now, let's get right into it. Now, so The Witcher, it was a very, very, very good series. I really, really enjoyed it. I love seeing Henry Cavill take on new roles, different roles from what I'm used to seeing him. I love him as Superman. To me, he is the quintessential Superman, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of him. I've never played the video game. I never read the book series. I knew it was a video game. I did not know it was based on a book. I should have known that. Like everything is based on everything else, right? So different mediums, different ways of getting that T-shirt put in front of the eyes of people so we can consume more of this product. There are a lot of people who love The Witcher, and from what I could tell, people say that it's very reliable, if that's a good word, or it's very close to loyal to the source material, the book, the video game. Though it takes place in different times. Like the book is what it is, the timeline where the book is. The game, I think, if I've heard correctly, is set further into the future. That's why The Witcher is older. And I remember people saying, "Oh, Henry Cavill's too young to play The Witcher." Like, no, this is based on when he was a little bit younger. What I did not like about it from the beginning was the jumping back and forth in time. People would explain to me halfway. I had to ask people who finished it before I did. Are these flashbacks? What is going on? Like, no, these are situations where one character, Princess Ciri, and the Witcher are about to collide or meet up towards the end of the series when you're seeing things from her perspective and from his perspective until these two main characters finally meet. The only other problem with it was that it was redundant because we saw a battle, we saw a war, we saw an outcome, then we saw what led to it, and then we saw that same battle again in a slightly different or extended point of view or a little bit more explanation. But it was it was chopped up and edited in a odd way that made you feel like I've already seen this before. You're doing more than just making a filler or what I call a butterfly episode. You're adding scenes in that we've seen already, conversations that we've seen already, and you're repeating it. And then later on, kind of extending it later, which I felt like wasn't necessary. I would have appreciated it more if it would have just went from point A to point B and maybe had a whole episode dedicated from this person's point of view at the exact, but on the exact same, you know, timeline. That might have made it flow a little bit better for me. Other people might have totally got it and totally understood it, but I'm pretty sure the majority of people were like, had an aha or an oh yeah moment by episode two, three, maybe even four to go, okay, this is happening in a weird way, in a different way, in a I don't know how to explain it. This is happening in a cut up way that's going to make some more sense in the end. The other problem is that it finally, towards the end, remember this is the binge review, so I'm assuming you guys have already seen the whole thing. It finally made sense and collided at the very end. I was told that it would make more sense and collide in the middle of it, and that did not happen. It totally collided in the end, and hopefully they won't do that for season two. I don't think it would be necessary for a season two, and I heard that a season two is already greenlit. Overall, everything that I saw was great. It was compared to Game of Thrones a lot. Like this would be a good replacement for it. I don't see it as on the level of a Game of Thrones. I see that they use magic way more than Game of Thrones did. Well, Game of Thrones had dragons and had magic and medieval things and that obviously medieval things. Then had knights and kings and things like that. But this one focuses more on the magic side of it. You see it a lot more. The magic is put up front more. Other thing that I don't know whether or not it worked or if it was holding it back. Each episode felt like a level of a video game. Maybe it was done on purpose to make it an homage to, hey, remember that this is based on the book, which then also led into the video game. So each episode felt like another video game stage, where we have like every episode. If this was a weekly episode, is the monster or the villain of the week. Now you're gonna try to help us defeat this monster on at this stage, on this level. Now that you've leveled up to this much power, and you should be able to defeat this monster. That's pretty much what every episode felt like until that was on the forefront, and then the overall arc was almost second to that knowledge, if that makes any sense. I love the Yennefer character. She seems to be very much loved throughout the game as well. I also heard that this was the first time that her backstory was fully explained. I didn't know how to take her at first. I thought that they were building her up to be a villain, and maybe that's what it is in the game or in the books in the future. But for her to be as complex, and you think she's going to be one way, and then she turns out to be another way at the end, it was pitch perfect because people are complex. And things aren't just black and white. People have shady or shaky backgrounds or origin stories, and life is messy. And I feel like that's what they were trying to tell us with the Yennefer character, where you would be like, you empathize with her, you sympathize with her, you feel sorry for her in the beginning. Then you're like, okay, you're going to a dark place, and I don't know if I can get down with this, even though I kind of like what I'm seeing right now. And then in the end, or toward when she comes out of that, when she learns more and gets a taste out of life, and feels that made some bad decisions, or I might have regret this and that, and now she sees there's always something you got to give up if you want everything you want. And I think she learned that lesson heavily before the end of this season. The the whole thing with destiny and trying to fight destiny and accepting your destiny, I love that about this story. The Witcher seems to kind of wants to bridge this gap and try to make humans and mythical creatures and people of legend, elves and magic and people to really just get along and see that there's a better way. If you can't get along, move away, just segregate yourselves if you know you can't do it. But there are other ways that we can possibly work together and coexist. And he pretty much has a live and let live mentality that I think works very well in this world that's around him. I mean, people might not like him because he is what he is and might want to kill him, but hey, he's a tough dude to take down. So he'll have his moments where he's loved and hated and things like that. And like I said, this is a very complicated world, and you have very complicated characters, characters that you might like at one moment, you'll be disappointed with the next, and so is life. That's what I appreciated about this series. So the things that I did not like about it was little things, that little cosmetic things that could be course corrected later in the season, maybe in the season two and beyond. But if not, if they still stay the same formula, overall, it's still an enjoyable series, and I recommend it to each and every one. If you like The Lord of the Rings, you like The Hobbit, you like Game of Thrones, you should like The Witcher. If you're a fan of the game, now I might go out and go buy the game now because hey, I like this character. I'm very interested in seeing it in other medias and other platforms. So hey, you gotta it worked on me. Maybe I'll definitely check out the books as well. Other than that, let me know what you guys think after you watch The Witcher. Who was your favorite character? What was your favorite storyline? Did you have problems with the editing like I kind of did? And let me know. Put it in the box below. Tell me what you guys think. And until next time, guys, hey, peace.